Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Scott with InsideTheCurve.com back with another video. So as I discussed in my general overview of this titanium 200 multi-process welder, I was going to start off by showing the flux-core capabilities of the machine. In that video we also talked about how to get the wires set up on the machine. We'll skim over that again in this video. So what we got going on here is, well, a lot of rigging going on, but we got to do something about this in the video. This is not a proper stand, but we've got it propped up to kind of get us by this time. So what I'm going to use here is I got an old lawnmower blade, which is just some junk metal. I'm going to cut this up, make a T-plate for us, and we're going to build it up with our flux core. And also remember, I can weld better than I can spell. Anyways, let me get this cut up for us, and we'll get into here and try to see if we can set the old pancake hood up, and y'all can see what's going on behind the lens here too. Let me get this. Obviously this isn't ideal, but it's Sunday and the studio yard ain't open, so we're going to have to make do with what we got, and I've got free time, so let's get her cleaned up and I'll get it tacked. Now that we got our mower blade pieces cleaned up here, we're going to go ahead and set our machine. So we are running the flux core wire, and inside here Harbor Freight was nice enough to put the tensioner, so it says between 2 and 3. So we're about, I would say 2.5. So we got that set correctly. This is the 030, I'm not sure if I said that yet. So if we come up here to our, let's see, flux core 030, come over to our thickness. This is about 200 thousandths, so we're going to be between 3/16 and a quarter, which it's telling us that we need a step up wire size, but we don't have that, so we're just gonna go off, say if we were running 35, which probably isn't the best thing to do, but we're gonna kind of mimic these settings here, and then we'll dive to get done. We need to get down here, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick the machine back here, and I am running the 220 volt. We're getting an error there, so we need to make sure we got that turned down right. I'm thinking it's saying that because maybe I flicked the switch. Yeah. So what I didn't want to happen was, I told you earlier in my very first video what happens if you have it in 120 and it's hooked to 240. or the switch is set to 240, this is what happens. So I'm gonna kick the switch over and see what it does here. So power's down. I'm gonna kill the power switch now. Oop, the wrong switch. Let me get the right one. So I'm gonna turn it back on under the correct voltage switch from the back. So it does have a safety power feature, which is great to know. Didn't want to find that out right now, but we did anyways. So we come back over here. What were we saying? We need to be at 275 and 20. So we'll go to 300 and we'll put it at 20. So 300 amps voltage at 20. And we'll dial that in from there for what we got. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my gear put on, the hood, I'm gonna tag it, and then I'm gonna try to get the pipe liner hood hooked in behind the shot and see if you guys can see what's going on as well. I'm not sure how it's gonna work out, but bear with me. So I got it kind of halfway set up. We're gonna have to get something better for future down the road, but I think this will might work for now. We're going to give a test run here on the back side to see how our machine's running and how the camera views will look for us. But I'm not going to whack getting the torch here. So I'm going to go from left to right, really keeping it down there in the base of that groove or the fillet here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I just reviewed the footage of trying to have the hood looking at it, and that ain't gonna work out for us. So we'll have to work on something different. But I'm gonna clean this first practice side up on the back side to see what we got. Like I said, I felt like it ran pretty good for us. It looks fairly good. I mean, I'm definitely not no flux-core welding machine here or nothing, but I don't know, you be the judge. I don't know what they're supposed to look like, but it's a bead nonetheless. So alright, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to weld this side here, and then we'll start stacking them in there. Get back and pull in there. I'm really careful to squeeze around it. Keep them up. Outside, turn the best dry with a consistent pace. I can't remember what I had to get comfortable on that. I feel pretty comfortable. My hands get a little hot here, but we got the right ground. A lot of things would change, but I'm going to go ahead and turn right here. We're just about some wind. We'll build up. We'll let that flux sit on top there for a minute. So, I mean, even without knocking that flux off, I've barely flux-core welded in my life. I've ran an ESOB on some pipe one time, just in school messing around, but I mean, that looks fairly decent to me. So we'll let that flux sit on there, let the weld cool down, and we'll take a look. So I knocked the slag off it, and we got a couple wormholes in there. I'm not familiar with wire feed welding, but I mean, it looks like good weld, except obviously the wormhole. So I got to thinking, it is Harbor Freight wire. I'm sure the quality's not the gear. I'm sure it came over on a boat. I don't know, maybe there's some kind of impurity on the wire. So I'm gonna run what Harbor Freight wire we got out and go get some ESOB or some Lincoln wire or whatever the better quality one is. I'm not really sure. and give that a shot. I could be just making excuses because I suck, but I mean, visually I don't think it's too bad of a weld. Just obviously pinholes if they weren't there. But like I said, I'm not very experienced in wire feed welding, except for a few times I've done it, just for projects at work that makes sense to MIG weld over TIG weld it. But I'm gonna go ahead and start stacking beads in here. Start here at the bottom and step up, clean it up, and just keep stacking them in there and see if we can improve that, kind of burn through some of this wire as well. But yeah, if you guys got any solutions or run into this before, let me know. I also did kind of quick Google search just to knock down the voltage a little bit, so I took it down about 1.5 volts on there. And I did misspeak when I was talking about setting the machine up. That's actually wire speed. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I'm so used to working with amps and that's it. But so yeah, we're gonna try that. So I had it at 20 amps, not 20 volts, sorry. And I took her down to 18.5 to see if that'll kind of clear it up. And it said to kind of have your stick out a little longer, so I'm gonna give that a shot too and see if we can't get a bead that doesn't have the wormholes in there. And I'm just gonna keep filling this plate until I guess I can't take any more. So, all right, let me hook you guys back up on the tripod here. Rule number one of welding: get comfortable. So that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to see how my hands need to be throughout this weld. So it feels pretty good there. I'm gonna go ahead and fire off on it. So we'll let that flux sit on there a little bit. That don't look too bad, I guess. Let it sit on there a little bit, then I'll hit her with the walt there. And again, that was 30 on or 300 on a wire speed, 18.5 volts, and this is about 200 thousandths thick material. This old mower blade. So I mean, there's a little bit of weld on the back side from playing around with it before, but that shouldn't be causing too much trouble for us. But we're gonna let it cool down and clean it up, and I'll bring you guys back in to take a look at it, see if we get rid of those gas bubbles. So kind of the same deal there. Got them little pockets in there. Get you guys in here a little better and see what's going on. I'm not gonna hide anything from you. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm sit here and say I'm the greatest flux-core welder. I'm sure people down below and say I suck, but that's fine. I'm not here to I don't know, say I'm the expert. I'm just here learning with this stuff. So yeah, you can see it kind of the same thing. I didn't like the way it ran as well either with that lower voltage, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back up. And maybe I've got the wrong angle the torch could be, or that's the only other thing I think of, and try to focus on that stick out length. But yeah, I definitely didn't like the way it ran with that lower voltage, so I'm going to turn it back up to our 20 right now. Got that adjusted. So I'm going to go ahead and stack another bead over here right on this top edge. I'm going to try to overlap it, so about where my finger's coming across camera right here, about like that. And then 2 past there, then we'll step down again and put 1 across here. Then we should end up with 3 beads up there, and just keep stacking them and try to improve our technique here. But again, I'm not trying to claim to be an expert in flux-core welding, and so let's see what we can make happen here. That time that was my fault. I got the wire in there and burned it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up here. And still seems like the wire is pulsating a little more than it needs to be. You can't see it here, just it ain't. I hear it now. Now it's really taking off. I think I got my hoses kinked up too much here. Might be causing a little bit of issue too. I need to get things stretched out. So I know this isn't the right way to do this. We really need to clean the slag out, but we're gonna see if we can get fired back up on it. Kind of stepping forward and stepping back into it, see if that's trying to get that cleaned up too. So this is probably like the worst weld of this session so far. So starting out we had some trouble, and then right here I thought about, as I was welding, about stepping forward and stepping back. I really didn't get the gas bubbles, but then right here I short arced it and I burnt the wire off inside the collet there, so I had to start up again. I guess all in all it was a little better weld, but we're gonna try down here on the fresh part, stack another bead in here on the bottom, and try that same technique we had going on here for about that 1/2 inch, and see if we can get that to translate throughout, and maybe that'll help us clear this up. I'm not sure if that's the right technique. It's basically what I was doing. If I was coming along here, I was going forward, stepping back, forward and back, and it's really pushing it back. So I was whipping back fast and then coming back slow, whipping back with that. So I hope that kind of makes a little bit of sense. We'll see if we can get that to translate down here. Alright, so we're still at 300 on the wire speed to 2000 volts. I'm going to make sure I got my lead, not where it's going to bind up on us again like it did. And I'm going to go ahead and go forward and back motion, see if we can get those nice ripples in there. So it felt good up till about this last little bit right here. And we had some wire feed problems going on. I'm still thinking of our first video that I did of this welder, that larger spool is going to make a big difference. It'll be more in line with the rollers, but that's just kind of something I know. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll go ahead and clean it up here and see what we got going on. But this was what we got here. It really started messing up on my wire feed right here. And I'm thinking of this because I'm getting that torch angle is more in it. I really need to make sure that I'm actually getting a good drag all the way across. So that goes back to getting comfortable at number rule welding. So I'm going to go ahead and keep stacking them in. Put one up there now and see what we got. So this time we should be getting 3 passes up there across our weld joint. So, and the plate's hot and heating up too, so I'm thinking I'm definitely going to have to get booking along there a little bit quicker as well. So. That felt pretty damn good, but I can kind of see that I do have some bubbles here on the surface of the slag, so I don't know if that's going to translate down into our weld, but I could hear that it was about to start doing that the wire noise there where I feel like it's not keeping up, and I kind of tipped that, make sure I got my wrist down this way, and it quietened it up. So here's that last weld cleaned up. We did get one little wormhole right there, and I think that's where I was telling you that I could hear that wire was about to start jamming up on us, and to kick that rod forward, or my torch forward, kind of quietened it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one more bead here on this top edge, and then we'll probably call it there. But yeah, this little welder, I think I just need some more experience with flux-core and wire fed in general. Like I said, I've just MIG welded a little bit for work, doing different shop projects that make sense to MIG weld things, but it seems pretty good. So I'm going to get a gas bottle in this coming week, and we're definitely going to hit the TIG really hard on this thing. wheel indeed, but I still think I got that gas bubble on the top edge. Keep calling it gas bubble. I don't know if that's what you would technically call it, the flux-core or not, since we don't have any gas, but it felt pretty good. Let her cool off, and I'll hit her with the wire wheel here. That was probably the worst for the little wormholes there. Got one pretty good sized one there, another one there, and one right there. So, and I really made sure I had that angle down. I wish I could just get it to look all about like that consistently through, but with time and you guys give me comments on how bad I suck at welding, you probably help me figure out what I'm doing wrong here. But yeah, overall I'm pretty impressed with this little welder. I've got $6.29 on a parking lot sale, so yeah, I couldn't recommend that thing anymore. So, alright YouTube, this is Scott with InsideTheCurve.com, out.